Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special presentation of IPW UK. You will not have seen this show advertised. You were not able to buy tickets for this one. This is a very special and important show for IPW UK fan and more importantly friend Nick Monkman. This show is to celebrate his 30th birthday. This is Monkmania. Let's go over to Dean Ayres for the introductions to this opening contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, to my right from the rough end of Plumstead, London, weighing in at 153 pounds, Maverick Mayhew. And his opponents across the ring, fighting out of the right corner. From Buckinghamshire, weighing in at 178 pounds, he is the Wrecking Ball, Scott Starr. And your referee for this contest, Tom Starr.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our opening contest here for Monkmania. We see the Wrecking Ball, Scott Starr, take on the young, up-and-coming Maverick Mayhew.
I'm ready. Bring it back!
And this should be a very good, clean, fun, high-flying, energetic contest. Neither of these two men known for their rule-breaking ways. Neither looking to find an unfair advantage. This should be the definition of pure adrenaline and sportsmanship. As you see, Maverick Mayhew, they look for the bow and arrow. Scott Starr rolls straight over into a pinning attempt. Scott Starr looking for the moonsault there, and backflip from Maverick Mayhew, mirroring Scott Starr magnificently. Looks for a moonsault of his own. And despite the experience gap here between Scott Starr and Maverick Mayhew, these two are very evenly matched at this point in the contest. And Maverick Mayhew sends Scott Starr to the outside now. What's Maverick looking for? Baseball slide. Scott avoids, looking for a moonsault off the apron. No! Maverick Mayhew saw that one coming. Able to prevent Scott Starr from hitting that moonsault off the apron. And it's Maverick Mayhew here in control on the outside. Hurricane Rana on the outside there. Amazing skills there from the Wrecking Ball. And maybe that's the opening Scott Starr needed to take the advantage in this contest. No, flying crossbody. Maverick Mayhew doesn't go for the pinfall attempt. Hanakarana of his own. And another. And young Maverick Mayhew's getting the best of Scott Starr in the opening moments of this contest. As Maverick now heads to the top. No, Scott Starr's up. Oh, first big strike of the contest. And Scott Starr brings Maverick Mayhew crashing down from off the top turnbuckle. Goes for a pinfall, but only a 2 count. And Scott Starr certainly knows that he was not going to win the contest at that point. And Maverick Mayhew is a very tough and resilient young man, and it will take a lot more to wear him out. And once again, what Scott Starr is looking for is to wear down his opponent, to make him use up all of his energy by kicking out of those pinfall attempts.
Stay down, buddy.
Putting all his weight on him with those pinfalls, making life harder and harder for Maverick Mayhew to breathe, to kick out, to wear him down. And again. And Scott Starr slow to capitalise off that. Submission attempt. And you see that pain on young Maverick Mayhew's face.
Yes.
The way Scott Starr has that knee placed perfectly along the spine. The way he's wrenching back those arms, the shoulders. And this crowd building behind Maverick Mayhew here. But Maverick with the reversal, and we spoke already about how evenly matched up these two individuals are. And in a way, both Scott Starr and Maverick Mayhew are reversing everything the other one has, and they're almost mirror images of one another. And I'm sure that Scott Starr was maybe expecting a somewhat easier match, given he is the more experienced of the two here. As Scott Starr transitions into a body scissors.
Thanks, man.
Pinfall attempt. And again, and Scott Starr with this body scissors, maintaining control of the hold, using it to wear down and combining that with more pinfall attempts, forcing young Maverick Mayhew to kick out and I'm not sure who's in control of this one, whether this is Maverick trying to escape or whether this is Scott trying to disorientate his young opponent. Another pinfall attempt. Only a 2 again. And the look in Maverick Mayhew's eyes, he looks lost, he looks confused, he looks dizzy. But Maverick able to escape somehow there. Scott Starr headbutt to the gut, and Scott Starr is firmly in control. And another. And what a maneuver! Maverick Mayhew almost with a pinfall there against Scott Starr in this opening contest. And what a victory that would have been for this young man as he climbs his way to the top now. Scott Starr looking to bring him down again. No, Maverick Mayhew says not again. Big dropkick there from the second rope, and both men are down. Scott Starr had the advantage for a short while. He had to rely on that body scissors submission. The high flying just wasn't quite cutting it against Maverick Mayhew, a man who is in many ways a mirror image of Scott Starr. But Maverick with that dropkick from the second rope now, both men are down. The playing field has been equalled as referee Tom Scarborough's count up to 7. Both men try to fight their way back to a vertical base, and here we go. And it's Scott Starr with the first blow there. And both these men getting worn out. The heat in this room it's very warm, and these two men worn out. Maybe not hitting with as much force as they would like right now. Oh, and that's a much stronger, harder blow there from Scott Starr. Scott Starr may be getting frustrated that he's having as much trouble as he is with young Maverick Mayhew. And what a kick to the face. And a receipt there from Scott Starr. Clothesline. Back elbow. And a DDT. Scott Starr bouncing off the top of his head. He could have neck, he could have vertebrae damage right there. But only a 2 count. Only a 2 count for Maverick Mayhew. As these two men continue, these two men still looking for a way to secure victory here at Monk Mania. Maverick Mayhew tuning up the band, looking for a super kick here. Scott Starr slowly making his way back up to his feet. Goes super kick, Scott Starr ducks. Looking for slice break. No, there's the super kick. And Maverick Mayhew is so worn out, he cannot follow up right now. He cannot capitalize on that super kick. He needs to look for that pinfall right now. Maverick Mayhew needs to find a way to cover Scott Starr, and Maverick's thinking about going to the top. This could surely be a mistake. He's wasting time. Maverick Mayhew surely should have looked for the cover there.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
450, Scott Starr moves out the way, and Maverick in a world of hurt. Maverick Mayhew, surely that's the inexperience there, not capitalising on that super kick, not going straight for the cover. And the wrecking ball from Scott Starr, what force! And it's all over.
The winner of the match and the result of the pinfall, the wrecking ball, Scott Starr.
A superb effort there from the young Maverick Mayhew. But ultimately, it was Maverick Mayhew's lack of experience that led to an opening for the wrecking ball, Scott Starr, to hit that very manoeuvre, to hit that wrecking ball with great force. And on a man as small as Maverick Mayhew, he could have suffered serious injuries there. And what a show of respect from Scott Starr. What a superb opening contest here at Monkmania.